Hello everyone and welcome to our special somehow video for this night, for this amazing night, because I'm having fun so far. So I decided, because I found this on the Steam workshop, which is he calls it, the person who did it, he calls it a 1940s box, which I think it's 100% correct. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely hideous, and I'm not really sure if it's correct or not, but I think it's a milk van or a milk truck or a milk car, whatever you want to call it. You know, the milkman will come with the milk inside it, and he will replace the empty bottles. I think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe yes, but I think it can work. I mean, look at the door. Anyone can get in and out easily, put the milk in the back. Well, it will be absolutely perfect for the job. And as I'm gonna demonstrate later, not with milk, with the delivering capabilities. So let's all starting with the specs, and of course let's always have fun, because that's my #1 priorities of my videos, having fun always. And of course don't forget to tell me what do you think about this this box in the comment section below. And of course let's start with it. So let's see, the production year is 1946, which is the least production year in automation game, the lowest one. We have a steel body, or steel panels as they call it, space frame chassis type, which is the only option, and I think it's too expensive or too complicated back then. I mean, look at the engineering time. It's 24 and no mass production in 1946. I think there were a lot of cars that they were mass produced in 1946, but that's the only option with this body. So we have a steel chassis and mid-transverse engine placement, so it's a mid-engined van or vehicle. McPherson strut front and rear suspension, because it's the cheapest and it's the lightest, which is good. Light is always good. Zero quality on the chassis and the suspension design. Moving on, this is the engine that I did, which is a 660cc or 659 to be honest, inline 3 engine. You know, it's like a K car engine, and it's good. It works absolutely very nicely, because it's a milk van, so you don't want to go fast, and you want to save fuel, and of course you want to move around in just normal speeds, and this engine can do it without any problem. Of course you can stick a V8 in it, which should be hilarious, and or maybe an inline 6 or a boxer engine easily. But an inline 3 seems very appropriate for it. But don't worry, I have a lot of crazy ideas for this van, or this vehicle in the future, but not now. So what we have is a cast iron block, 60mm on the bore, 77.8mm on the stroke. Higher stroke engine means higher torque, which is always good. Direct acting overhead cam, much better than push rods, and much more reliable than overhead cam and double overhead cam in 1946. Cast iron cylinder head, cast internals, -3 quality, because I don't want to push the RPM so high, and the torque rates are perfect, so -3 made the engine a little bit less reliable, but a lot more cheaper, which is always good. Moving on, the compression ratio is extremely low, 6.8 to 1, because, well, fuel efficiency and the fuel systems back then were absolutely hideous. That's why you can't really push the compression ratio using regular fuel. Yeah, so 6.8 to 1 seems perfect. 24 on the cam profile, which is a very normal, mild cam profile, which gives very low and very high low end torque, and keeps the engine efficient-ish. +1 quality, naturally aspirated of course, single barrel carburetor, single carburetor of course, and the standard intake manifold running on regular 92 leaded fuel. I really wanted to use the low quality 80, but what's the point, because it's low on octane, and it will kill the horsepower very high. I mean, it will drop it to 10 horsepower, which is absolutely rubbish. That's why I kept on 92, because this is regular fuel. You can find it absolutely anywhere in 1946. That's why it seemed perfect. 14.9 is the air fuel ratio, which is extremely lean, because I wanted to keep the engine also efficient. So a little tiny bit of fuel is going into the engine, and the engine is running nicely, smooth-ish, running without any problems. 71 on the ignition timing, which is always good. 5,500 RPM is the RPM limit, and +9 quality on the fuel system. So it's a very good carburetor. in 1946. It's not a bad carburetor at all. Moving on, we have a cast log header, which is the most basic one, and it serves the purpose very nicely. I mean, the max horsepower for this header is 34 horsepower, and the engine is making only 24. So yeah, perfect. This is the smallest ever exhaust diameter, 500, or how can I say it, half an inch exhaust diameter. That's very tiny, or 12.7 millimeters. That's extremely tiny. Of course, baffled muffler, that's the only option. Single baffled muffler and +8 quality to give a very good and high flowing exhaust system and quiet at the same time. Yeah, 41, it's not quite that much quiet, but it's reasonable back then. Moving on, so the horsepower rate is 23.8 and 32.1 pound-feet of torque. Very good. 45 is the reliability, which is extremely good back then. Engine is somehow quiet, not really responsive, but it's acceptably for a milk van engine. 72 kilograms. I mean, it's good. It's good for the job. Now let's see how it looks. This is it. 660cc engine. Look at it. Look, it looks absolutely tiny and cute at the same time. I love the cute looking valve cover. I mean, look at it. Direct acting overhead cam. Looks absolutely magnificent. And look at those runners, just regular basic boxy runners, nothing. The intake looks similar to the exhaust, just the exhaust is a lot shorter. I mean, this is 1940s at its finest. At its finest. Everything is cast iron, everything is old school. Wow, let's fire it up. 3 cylinders dancing, and look at the idle speed. The idle speed is 1200. That's high. I mean, this noise that you are hearing at high RPM, you will only hear that if the milkman decided to race a car or maybe chase another car with girls in it. Who knows? So yeah, you will only hear it like this all the time. And then when he decided to floor it, which will never ever happen. So yes, that's the body. Oh, it's a hatchback. According to the person who made it, it's called a hatchback, or what, a Dornier body editor thump. Yeah, mid-engine, rear-engine, 2-door. Nice low drag, cargo volume, very big cargo volume. Good, -1 quality on the body and the fixtures. Moving on, I've chosen this beautiful, like, classic red-black mix, which looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, in real life, this thing should be looking in a white paint, because, well, it's a milk van. It should be in white, but I like the red-black mix, which I shall keep it. Moving on, the fixtures are very simple. Boxy front lights, boxy front grille, indicators on the front, on the sides, with a door handle, a classic one, a keyhole, and a fuel filler cap with also another keyhole, because yeah, stealing fuel back then was very popular and you need to lock it. So yeah, since this thing is a rear or mid-engine, the radiator I think should be here in the back, so cold air will get in from the sides and cool the radiator, and hot air should exit from the back. From here, with a tiny exhaust tip, which looks absolutely awesome. All right, so what we have here is the milkman badge and tail lights, and of course the license plate. To be honest, some fixtures are not really 1940s, like those wipers, front and rear wipers. I want to keep it like extra reliable. And extra, how can I say, drivable. When it's raining, you want to keep the visibility high. So yeah, 2 wipers, and no side mirrors, to be honest, because I've tried to put side mirrors and they looked absolutely hideous. And I'm looking at this thing, the visibility is extremely high. You can absolutely see anywhere. I mean, look at the visibility. I mean, this glass, of course, this thing is clear. So can you imagine the visibility? I mean, where are the pillars? There are no pillars, tiny ones, so you can see absolutely anywhere with this thing, everywhere, anywhere. Yeah, so I forgot to put a minor detail on it, which is the window washers or the windshield washers. So yeah, let's put those, tilt them like that, black of course, yep, mirror it, and perfect. We have window or windshield washers, which they will squirt water, and the single wiper will just wipe it all, which looks now much more realistic. Let's see, everything is looking very basic, nothing special. Now let's move on then. So this thing is rear-wheel drive, of course, manual gearbox, 3 speeds, yes, 103 km/h top speed, or a final drive of 6.27 to 1, which is extremely weird and not good for the highway. We have 50 on the spacing and open differential. Now this thing can never ever achieve 100 km/h, never. This thing barely gets to 98 according to the automation simulator. So yeah, it says here 82, but when I ran this thing around the track, it did 98 km/h max, not 100. So yes, 0 to 100 or 0 to 100 or 0 to 60 km/h, that's not possible. So yeah, I don't know how much this thing can take, how much time. So yeah, there's no 0 to 60 or 0 to 100, which is absolutely funny. 0% wheel spin, and to be honest, that's the quickest time around the track with 0% wheel spin, so I kept it that. We have cross-ply tires, which, you know, classic tires, hard long life tires, 120 on the front, 125 on the rear, 10-inch rims, 480 is the tire diameter. We have drums on the front and the rear, single shoe. Yes, SLS means a single shoe, not double. 170mm on the front, 160 on the rear. Not bad at all. And yes, I know this is a utility vehicle, and yes, we have a tiny bit of brake fading, which should not be any problem. This thing will be driven like stopping, starting, stopping, starting, so don't worry about that. This is not a track car. No under tray, of course. 100 on the brake airflow, 55 on the engine airflow to keep the engine cool and reliable, and yes, minus 15 quality on the aerodynamics. No one cares about that. And we have basic interior, no entertainment, because, well, the closest entertainment, which is premium, you know, for premium cars only. 2 seats, no rear seats for big cargo space, -4 quality. Of course, no power steering, and standard 40 safety equipments. We have standard in the suspension design, standard everything, comfortable, basic, nothing special, and 250mm is the ride height. Yep, 82.6, that's the official top speed for this thing, but I promise you it can do 98. It did 98 on the straight line here, which is, yeah. So yes, again, 453 kilograms, that's the total weight. This thing is a little bit heavier on the rear. This thing can take 200 and you can say 250 kilograms of cargo. Towing capacity, that's hideous, but yeah, and we have actually some active downforce. Can you believe it? A box with active downforce. Yep. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this thing. Now let's go to BeamNG.drive and see how this box will actually be driven over there, which should be absolutely boring and maybe funny at the same time. Who knows? Alright, let's move on. Alright, so we are in BeamNG.drive right now with the milk van, or as the ugliest vehicle ever in an automation game, but let's see how this thing will perform. A couple of notes that I found because I've already tested this thing, which is the suspension. The suspension is a little bit too soft and too funny to drive, but I'll try really nicely to handle it very nicely without crashing it, you know, hoping. So let's see how this thing will perform. First of all, sounds not bad. Yep, look at that. Suspension is too soft, look at that. It's like a funny thing to drive, the funniest thing ever. So yes, I'm gonna also try it and driving this thing also off the road to see how to perform. But first, performance. Oh! Wow, it's like the Reliant Robin, the first corner, and we have you know, we have flipped it around. So let's see, let's try it again. Wow. Again, again, again. So this thing, while it's accelerating, you need to be careful with the steering wheel. So don't turn while you are pushing the throttle. So 80 so far, good. 80 kilometers per hour. Feels very fast with this thing. Oh my god, braking now. Be gentle with the brakes. Too much braking means you get problems. Not bad. I mean, it's funny to drive, really funny to drive. You have to be careful with the throttle, careful with the steering. Look at it. It's very soft suspension. Wow, and very soft dampers as well. So the top speed is 83, as you can see, 83 kilometers per hour. So let's try and brake. Wow, so I think with a little bit of downhill, this thing actually can flip on its face. Yep, if there's like a downhill bit, yes, I think this thing will fall on its face, which will be hilarious to watch. So yeah, 0 to 100, well, there is no number. Top speed is 84, 83, something like this. Brakes are very strong. Wow. Now let's try off-roading this thing, since this thing has a very soft suspension. Wow. The whole screen is just vibrating or shaking, or I don't know what's happening. Oh my god, look at that. So yep, this thing has the worst suspension ever, because it's too soft, and the worst body ever. It's very soft body. This thing can be bended, like with a screwdriver. You can just bend it. Wow, look at that. Oh, look what happened. Just one rock. So yeah, this thing is what happened. So this thing is very soft, like a piece of candy, which is really absolutely funny to drive and worrying at the same time. So let's try and pick up some speed. So 60. Oh my god, no, understeering and going into a tree. Wow, it's like funny rallying. 23 horsepower is actually moving pretty nicely. I'm impressed. The engine is only 23 horsepower, but it's moving. Whoa, it's not bad actually. I mean, yes, this thing is going 50 kilometers per hour, but it feels like 300. Feels very dangerous. I mean, really dangerous feels. Can you imagine putting a V8 in this thing? I mean, if this thing is already dangerous with only, oh my god, with only 23 horsepower. Can you imagine like a 200 horsepower V8 in it? Or maybe a 400 horsepower V8. This thing will be absolutely undrivable. I mean, right now it's really undrivable. I mean, to drive this thing, you really have to drive it extremely slow. You know, milkman speed, not performance speed at any circumstance, as you can see. Suspension is actually coping very nicely with the bumps and everything. Soft, gooey. Wow. Absolutely funny. It's like driving the fridge box. You know, when you buy a new fridge, it will come with a box. Yeah, It's like driving that box, putting a 3-cylinder engine in it. Oh, no, stop. Oh. It's not bad, you know, for a milk truck, or a milk van, but for a racing game, I think it's too much. Whoa, that was a big jump. And the rear suspension is collapsed, I think, or maybe the front one. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the milk van. What do you think about this funny boxy thing? I mean, look at it. It's just, wow, it doesn't want to. This is like the Reliant Robin, which is unstable, unsafe, unreliable. And yeah, it's 1940s, so yeah, as we all know, a lot of crazy cars came out of the 40s and the 50s and 60s, so these 3 decades gave us a lot of crazy cars. But for a 23 horsepower van, come on, jump again, it's not bad. Yep, it can jump on its face, I already told you that. So that's pretty much it. I'm done driving this thing. What do you think about this thing? Do you have any special ideas for this car? I would love to know that in the comment section. So thank you so much guys for watching. I know this is not really a quick video at all, but I wanted to share with you this funny experience with the boxy 1940s car. I hope that you enjoyed this video. So thank you so much guys for watching. I will see you very soon with more cool videos. So if you like this video, of course, hit that thumbs up, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and tell me what do you think about it in the comment section. And if you like my videos, if you like my channel, and if you want to support the channel, you know, to give me more motivation to do extra challenges, extra videos, and if you want to watch like behind the scenes and get this car and plus other crazy other cars, the link also in the description below for my Patreon page. You can sign up to my Patreon page, download all the crazy cars that I did on this channel, including the V16 Queen and other crazy creations. And if by doing that you'll be supporting the channel and giving me more motivation to do much more. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now, my friends.